My beloved child, I have not come to frighten you, but to rouse you awake. There are signals from heaven that sound only once. If you ignore them, the current of grace may fall silent like a river dammed in flood season. Open your heart now, for when you chase the counterfeit glow of instant prosperity, every true door of blessing, provision, peace, and direction will close, not because I have taken them away, but because you have ceased to seek me. Faith is not a winning lottery ticket, child. It does not turn me into a treasure vault for you to draw from. Each prayer you utter is not a button that dispenses favor, but a mirror that reveals your heart. Are you seeking the Father or only the reward? Be watchful. I am your Father, not a cash machine. Every blessing I give carries purpose. It does not serve narrow ambition. My grace is not a commodity to be bartered, nor a secret for getting rich quick. You may ask, but do not hunt for tricks to force my answer. The blessing I give does not live in silver acclaim or status, but in peace, wisdom, and the daily transformation of your life. While you still sprint after gain, you do not truly know me. Yet when you learn obedience, you will see that I have never left you. Remember Job, who lost wealth, children, and health, yet his heart did not depart from me. He did not treat me like an emergency reserve. He bowed and said, I give, and I also have the right to take. My name remains worthy of praise. When all else slipped away, his faith stood firm, not because he bargained with prayers, but because he put me in the right place on the throne of his heart, not in his strongbox. It was precisely when he had lost everything that he was restored, not by spectacle, but by a faith refined. I ask you, how many times have you sought me only for miracles, and forgot that I am teaching you to live faithfully among small things? How many times have you trusted in quick rituals and prosperity hacks, yet refused the long labor of prayer and the word? Be sober-minded. Blessing does not arrive to be flaunted. It comes to test your heart to see whether you are humble enough to keep it without losing yourself. Begin with wakefulness. I am Father, not a money dispenser. My blessings are meaningful. They are not for pampering, but for training. When you call to me, I listen. But when you turn prayer into a transaction, I fall silent, not in anger, but to invite you to examine your motives. True blessing is not found in instant wonders, but in the slow growth of faith as you learn gratitude in lack and keep trust in the night. Remember, I do not give so you may live easier, but so you may live deeper with me. I see your heart restless amid the clamor of an age that worships outcomes more than the giver of outcomes. You pray, yet your whispers are packed with schemes for a changed life. You think if you pray enough, I must answer. If you perform a few rites correctly, I must open doors. You have forgotten that I am no genie's lamp to rub for wishes. I am Father, the one who loves you and also trains you. If I granted everything you demanded, would you still learn to live with gratitude, to cherish each drop of grace? Wake up, child. My silence is not abandonment. It is an invitation to search your heart and see whether you are seeking the Father or the prophet. Know this: true blessing never comes by shortcuts. My gifts always pass through the road of formation. As gold through fire, faith must face trial to shine. When I let you walk through want, it is not to shame you, but to teach you sufficiency. Many ask for riches, yet when blessing comes, their hearts are bound by what they craved. They think I have favored them, but they have only erected an idol of money in the inner temple of the soul. But if you know to stop, to bow and say, Father, teach me to live rightly with the portion you give, then blessing becomes a tool, not a chain. I once told you of Elisha and the widow crushed by debt, 2 Kings 4:17. She had nothing left but a small jar of oil. Under the weight of what she owed, she cried out to Elisha. The prophet did not hand her gold or conjure coins. He told her to borrow empty vessels and pour from that little jar, and the oil did not cease until every vessel was filled. Do you see, I did not drop new substance from the void. I worked a wonder with the small thing already in her hand. True blessing begins with obedience in what is little, not with a treasure chest falling from the sky. If I were to fill all your jars the moment you cry out, you would never learn to trust me amid apparent emptiness. I grieve to see many in these days treat me like a sacred investment program. They sow money to reap money, bring offerings to barter luck. I have no need of offerings if the heart is not turned toward me. Do you remember? My word, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. You keep offering what I did not ask and forget what I truly want, a listening and yielded heart. My blessing is not traded by formula, it opens by trust. If you give from fear of losing favor, you are peddling the divine. If you give from love, you are growing into my likeness. Look closely, child. The world has made everything a commodity, even faith. Prophecies are sold. Prayers for hire are priced. My name is stamped on prosperity rallies. I look on and keep silent, not because I approve, but because I would have you learn to discern the true from the false. Faith is not a marketplace. It is a path of trust through the wilderness. I led Israel 40 years, not because they lacked a map, but because they lacked a heart. They cried for bread, I sent manna. They thirsted, I gave water. Yet when blessing came, their hearts drifted from me. Therefore, blessing must not outgrow faith, or blessing itself will kill the soul. Do not mistake my silence for distance. What seems delay is not refusal, but approving. I watch to see whether you will wait when every door appears shut, for only in quiet is faith truly formed. I do not weigh your faith by the prayers you say, but by your response when you are not answered. When you can still say thank you in empty days, you hold the key that opens true blessing. I do not wish you poor, yet I will not have you rich without me. Some wealth petrifies the heart like stone, while some losses soften it like soil where the seed of grace can root and rise. Come to me, not for gain, but because you miss your Father. If you come only for needs, you will depart when the need is met. If you come for love, you will remain even when I am silent. Love requires no reason, and true faith is the same. It does not demand a miracle, for the very act of believing amid hopelessness is miracle enough. I do not accuse you for your frailty. I only long that you learn to remain in me, even when nothing is visible but the waiting. For only within that stillness do I write things greater than all you asked. Remember, my blessing is not meant to make you conspicuous, but to make you whole. I do not give much so you can be called blessed, but so you can learn to share. Every favor I send carries a charge like seed that must be sown and not hoarded. If you lock blessing away for yourself, it will spoil. If you dare to give it, it will multiply. I do not teach you to be successful. I teach you to be truthful, for only the true can keep blessing long. Some of my children, because they believe I am Father, assume I will help with all they ask. But I am the Father of souls, not a servant to passing desires. There are things you want that I withhold, because if I gave them, you would lose your way. There are things you lose that I allow, because if you kept them, you would be ruined. You blame me for not giving, but I know such gifts would destroy your faith. I do not measure your heart by how often you are blessed, but by how often you still trust when you see nothing. Look again at yourself in your praying. Are you truly seeking me, or merely convenience? Do you want me to rescue you from hardship, or to teach you within it? Do you desire a miracle while you fear discipline, long for blessing while you dodge testing? I love you, and I will not leave you to the illusion that I exist only to fulfill requests. I have come to teach you to be a child of light, to live, to endure, and to love. I know you are tired. This life persuades you that only money can rescue the dreams you carry. Yet remember, if material favor arrives while your heart remains unhealed, you will still feel empty. For true blessing is not in possessions, but in knowing you are being led step by step, though not always along the road you would choose. I do not promise you will always have plenty, but I promise you will always have enough to be faithful. You see, true faith does not exempt you from trouble. It carries you through without breaking. It does not make you instantly wealthy. It enriches the soul. The one who truly believes can give thanks for a single drop of water, while the faithless go thirsty at the edge of a sea. Do not turn faith into a tool for making me serve you. Let faith be the bridge by which you return to me. For the day will come when earthly blessings no longer suffice to make you glad, and only I will be the joy that cannot be lost. Then you will discover I never closed any door of blessing. You merely stood at the wrong door. You have knocked where I do not dwell, hoping to unlock the vaults of this world, and forgotten that the true treasure is already within you, the capacity to obey, to love, and to give thanks. When you learn these three, every lack becomes a teacher, every sorrow a lesson, and every material blessing only a means by which you live your true purpose. Stop chasing what fades, child. Those who run without stopping will never hear the Father's call. Be still. Lay your hand upon your heart and ask, am I seeking blessing or seeking the Father? If you dare to answer honestly, I will show you the jar of oil that is yours, the small thing I have always wished to fill, if only you will trust and obey. My child, there are things that look like light, yet are only the reflection of deceitful fire. There are voices that speak in my name, yet carry not my spirit. In these times, hearts are easily swept up by what is fast, easy, and polished. A religion prepackaged in a few minutes of prayer, a few clicks, a few promises of instant prosperity. I see many who are weary and run to miracles as if to painkillers. But faith is not a sedative. It is the fire that assays gold. What is true endures time and still shines. What is false flashes for a moment and dies when applause grows quiet. I am not surprised that you are drawn to quick rituals, for people fear waiting. They want fruit without roots, results without plowing. They hunt for guaranteed effective prayer formulas and for touch points of heaven in a handful of words. But understand, no rite can replace a living relationship with me. Prayer is not sorcery. It is the breath of the soul. When you speak to me only to make me do your will, that is magic. When you speak to me to hear my will, that is faith. Do you remember Simon the sorcerer in Acts 8? He saw Philip working miracles, saw the Holy Spirit fall on others, and tried to buy that power with money. He thought grace was a commodity that the Spirit could be owned with silver. But Peter said, "May your silver perish with you, because you thought you could obtain the gift of God with money." You see, even in the apostolic days, people wanted to turn me into merchandise. They believed in power, but not in the Father. They craved results, but not the source. And that is where the swapping of true faith begins, when people pursue power without seeking the one who is sovereign. My child, what grieves me is not your weakness, but when you place your trust in the wrong things. You do not realize that the enemy of your soul can masquerade as an angel of light. He does not appear in terror, but in pleasant words. Just recite this, just do that, just believe this person, and blessing will come. He knows you are tired, so he promises ease. But remember, grace comes with no shortcuts. Anything that arrives quickly without the cross carries a cost, and that cost is the soul. Many have replaced me with formulas. They no longer seek me in prayer, but hunt for me through spiritual success secrets, rituals, to unlock blessing sacred links that spread online. I hear their prayers, yet I no longer hear their hearts. I see them cry, "Lord, Lord," yet I do not see them listening to me. For true faith is not in the form, but in surrender. If you pray only to trade for an outcome, you have not truly believed. But if you pray to discern my will, you have already touched the true blessing. Do you know why I do not grant miracles every day? Because if I turned stones into bread each morning, you would forget the taste of real bread. Miracles exist to awaken faith, not to replace it. Whenever I am silent, it is not because I am far, but because I want you to learn to hear with the heart instead of the eyes. I know you easily trust what can be seen, so I hide myself in what is unseen. When you believe without needing to see, that is when you truly know who I am. I have seen crowds applaud when someone says I prayed and I won the lottery, but I have also seen a widow quietly give thanks over a single dry loaf. Whom do you think is more blessed? True blessing is not instant results, but the capacity to remain grateful when nothing seems to change. 5-second rituals cannot produce enduring faith, for faith grows only through disciplined trial and my silence. The more you chase the quick, the more you lose the deep. Once in the days of Jeroboam, Israel set up 2 golden calves to worship in my place. They said it made worship closer, more practical. But it was only an excuse to bend faith into convenience. And I departed from the temple they built to dwell with the hearts that still trembled at my word. You see, the greatest danger is not the devil but religion, reshaped to fit human desire. When you choose ease over truth, you craft an idol named the convenient Lord. I do not want you to fear, but I want you awake. Nothing steals faith faster than shallowness in prayer, in the word, in listening. Every counterfeit feeds on that shallowness. You might repeat, Lord, bless me 1,000 times, but a single Lord, teach me to know you can move heaven. Do not measure faith by how often you recite a prayer, but by how often you stop to hear me. I understand you live in an age of instant, everything fast food, fast internet, fast results, and you carry that habit into your faith. You want me to respond like a call center and blessing like a promotional gift. But faith is not about speed, it is about depth. True blessing is not express shipped, but matured through years of abiding in the Word, abiding in faithfulness. Learn to believe slowly, because only what grows slowly lives long. My child, I do not fault you for seeking those who speak in my name when you long for guidance, but I ache when you set them above my word. Homemade prophecies, hacks for blessing, they only weaken your soul. When you listen to too many voices, you will no longer discern the voice of the Father. That is why I allow you to walk through empty spaces, so that in the quiet you hear only one sound, mine. My child, I do not need you to memorize every verse. I need you to live one truly. I do not demand long prayers. I ask for real prayers. I do not love you for the correctness of your rituals, but because you dare to bring me a torn heart. Cast aside every, do this to be blessed, for grace does not demand performance. Grace asks for one thing, an honest heart. When you dare to abandon instant myths, you will begin to see what endures. For faith does not operate by human deadlines, but by heaven's seasons. Sometimes blessing comes as a drizzle, not a storm. Sometimes I answer with silence, not thunder. But as long as you remain, grace will keep flowing like the oil in the widow's jar, unfailing until your heart is filled. And when you learn to discern the true from the false, your heart will be healed of its thirst for wonders. You will stop chasing lightning flashes and begin to learn what few desire to learn: discipline. Faith is not nourished by tempests, but by the small grains of daily faithfulness. I will teach you this, how to walk step by step instead of leaping after miracles. I have heard the sighs within you, the weary ache, because the miracle has not come, because the prayer remains unanswered. But my child, if I granted every request at once, your soul would never learn to wait. I do not want you to be a child of demands, but a mature son or daughter who knows how to live. A miracle can open the way, but only discipline keeps you on it. Many have felt my touch. Few have learned to walk with me. Do you want to be healed once, or learn to live whole always? When you insist on seeing miracles, you are letting your eyes stand in for your faith. Eyes see only the present. Faith beholds the eternal. I do not fault your longing to see me act, but I am grieved when you forget that I am also at work in the waiting. A miracle is a blaze that flares. Discipline is the ember that warms a lifetime. Live by miracles alone, and your faith will flicker. Learn discipline and you will be like a tree with deep roots. No storm can uproot you. Do you remember Naaman, the Syrian commander with leprosy? He came to Elisha, expecting a mighty word, a raised hand, a loud command, and the disease to vanish. But Elisha sent a message. Go wash 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored. Naaman was furious. He wanted a dazzling sign, not a simple instruction. He almost turned back until a servant said, If the prophet had asked something hard, you would have done it. How much more this simple thing? When he humbled himself, went down and obeyed, he was healed. Do you see? The miracle came when pride broke and discipline rose. This is what I desire to teach you. At times I withhold a miracle because a miracle would only make you see my might not, my teaching. The discipline of discipleship is a quiet miracle where you learn faithfulness, honesty, responsibility, and how to stop at the right time. When you sit with my word each day, though nothing seems to change, when you keep doing good though no one praises you, when you repay what you owe instead of hunting shortcuts, when you live true instead of polishing appearances, that is the miracle I am working in you. Do not misunderstand, my child. I am not against miracles. I am the source of them all. I am against lazy faith, the kind that sprouts only when there is profit. Miracles cannot replace training. A soldier does not win battles with a single swing, but with thousands of hours honing his sword in solitude. The more you train your heart, the more I can entrust to you. For gifts that arrive before discipline become burdens. Gifts that arrive on time become instruments to save. How often you have wanted me to break the patterns of life, yet those very patterns are the tools I use to teach you. I do not lead you by the short road, because the short road does not produce strength. Every miracle is the fruit of a process, the process of faith, forged through small, steady acts. Remember, I do not grow an oak in one rainy season, but through decades of wind. Likewise, I do not want your faith to flare in one meeting and then fade, but to live across a lifetime. The discipline of a disciple is not a chain. It is the frame that helps you stand. When you learn to pray daily, not from fear, but from the need to meet me. When you practice steady saving, are faithful in little things and upright in your finances. When you repent of wastefulness, asking me to heal your motives before asking for money, that is when your faith is being built from the roots. Do not pray for a full wallet, pray for a full heart. When the heart is full, the rest will follow. I see many asking for breakthrough who refuse to lay foundations. They want me to open doors but will not learn to steward the room. They want financial miracles yet spend without discipline, borrow without repaying, promise without keeping. My favor is not for those who can demand, but for those who will be formed. The more your heart is trained, the less you will clamor. Discipline does not make blessing arrive sooner. It makes you ready when it comes. My child, here is what few will tell you. The truest miracle is not that I change everything around you, but that I change you. Discipline is the quiet miracle. It may not astonish people, but it makes heaven rejoice. Only the truly self-controlled are truly free. You need not pray for every wave to be still. Learn to hold the helm steady in the wind. When you keep your peace, though you lose, give thanks, though you lack, and love, though you are misunderstood. That is the summit of miracle. Believe this discipline is the wisest form of love. I do not force you into a mold. I teach you how to live within form so you won't break. I do not take your freedom. I teach you how to use it. When you learn discipline, you stop demanding miracles because you recognize that living by the word is already the greatest miracle. The world waits for me to change circumstances, but you, if you heed me, will see that I am changing hearts. My child, when blessing comes, I do not look at how wide your purse is, but how deep your heart is. Many pray for blessing like the starving beg for bread, yet when the bread is given, they eat in haste and forget the hand that provided it. I do not grant wealth so you may be admired, but so you may learn stewardship. Blessing is the test of the mature. It measures whether you can keep your spirit steady when your hands are full, or whether you let the very gift become the rope that binds your soul. I do not fear your poverty. I only fear your prosperity without me. Remember, when I bestow blessing, I do not grant ownership, but stewardship. All that you have, time, health, talent, money, belongs to me, and I place it in your hands for you to tend. If you use it to prove yourself, you will lose your purpose. But if you use it to build, to share, to glorify my name, that blessing will multiply like seed sown on good soil. Do not view blessing as a prize, see it as a charge. For I do not raise anyone up merely to indulge them, but to make them servants. Do you remember Joseph, child, sold into slavery? It seemed blessing had departed, yet it was only beginning. In Potiphar's house, Joseph had no freedom, but he was entrusted with management. He did not flaunt, he did not complain. He simply worked with faithful integrity. And because he was faithful in little, he was entrusted with much. When blessing arrived, he did not use it for revenge, but for rescue. Do you see? True blessing does not make you proud. It makes you bow to serve. The greater the blessing, the lower you must learn to kneel, for true power is not found in the one who controls, but in the one who obeys. I have watched many hearts change direction when blessing comes. With empty hands they pray. With full hands they forget thanksgiving. They begin to brandish blessing like a trophy, to parade it like a roll of honors. But child, the blessing I give is not for you to make a name, but to reveal my name. When you turn blessing into a tool for self-assertion, you have taken what is holy and used it for the flesh. Stay awake, for personal glory is the quickest acid to the soul. You are blessed not to blaze, but to shine, and that difference matters. I want you to learn stewardship, for a steward is not a consumer. The consumer treats blessing like a trinket. The steward treats blessing like a commission. Begin with the smallest things, make a spending plan, put away bad debt, learn to build an emergency fund. Practice giving regularly, not under pressure, but out of gratitude. When you learn to manage money, I will trust you to manage gifts of grace. If you keep balance between working and giving thanks, you will not lack. I do not give for you to test your luck. I give so you may train your faith. I do not measure you by success, but by how you face success. When blessing comes, will you remain humble? When others praise you, will you remember the giver? At times, the greatest test is not in want, but in plenty. Poverty often drives you to ask. Abundance reveals the heart. When you can look up in the midst of success and still say, I have nothing that was not given by the Father, then you have truly learned to steward blessing. My child, I say these things not to make you fear blessing, but to ready you for it. Blessing comes to fulfill a mission, not to gratify the ego. Do not strive to possess more, learn to use better. Do not try to measure grace. Let grace measure you. All that you hold today is seed. If you hoard it, it will rot. If you sow it, it will bear fruit. And I, the one who sees every seed sown in secret, will make it sprout in its season. I want you to grasp something. Deeper blessing never belongs to one person. It is a current. I choose you, so that through you blessing will touch others. When you give, blessing multiplies. When you withhold, blessing stalls. Do not fear loss in giving, for I am the source that never runs dry. You are truly rich only when you learn to make others full. This is the secret of those I trust with blessing. They know blessing is not for display, but for delivery. Look again at what you possess today, your work, relationships, skills, and wealth. These are assets I have entrusted. Do not ask, what do I have? Ask, what have I done with what the Father gave? For when I return, I will not seek a performance report, but a faithful heart. You may not yield tenfold, but if you keep integrity, I will call you good and faithful servant. What delights me is not how much you accomplish, but how you live among the things entrusted to you. There will come a time when I open a door for you to step into greater blessing, not to exalt you, but to teach you to be a river, not a reservoir. The reservoir only keeps, the river flows. I choose rivers, not reservoirs. When blessing passes through your hands without being dammed, I know I can trust you with more. And when you have learned to manage blessing, you will see that it does not end with you. It must continue to your family, the church, the poor, and the next generation. Blessing lives only when it is shared. I will show you one last thing, how to live between community and calling to be rich, not by holding back, but by knowing how to give. My child, the journey of faith does not end with receiving blessing, but with what you do with it. I have not called you to be a storehouse, but a river. The blessing I give was not born to lie still in your hands, but to flow through you and water the barren ground around you. When you only keep blessing, dies in concealment. When you bestow blessing, lives and multiplies. Wealth is not the destination, it is the means by which you fulfill a mission larger than yourself. I have taught you watchfulness, discernment, discipline, and stewardship, not so you may outshine others, but so you may be mature enough to love. Blessing finds no meaning in accumulation, but in generosity. You cannot say you love me if you do not love people. For I do not dwell in temples of gold, but in hearts moved by another's pain. True riches are not in the wallet, but in the capacity to bend low, to give, and to lift others up. Let me tell you of the Good Samaritan. When the Jew lay half dead by the road, the priest passed by, the Levite passed by. They were busy, afraid, reasoning that the matter was not their responsibility. But the Samaritan, despised by many, stopped, tended the wounds, with oil and wine brought the stranger to an inn, and paid for his care. Do you see, true blessing is not in titles, but in quiet deeds. He did not wait for a miracle, because he himself became one to another. This is the image I desire for you, to be a steady, unnoisy stream where grace flows through and heals the world. Child, look around. This world thirsts for compassion more than for money. Some are rich in goods, yet poor in heart. Others own little, but overflow with joy and sharing. When blessing comes to you, remember you are chosen not to rise above others, but to bend down for them. Every coin you give, every word of comfort you speak, every small act for the weak, these are seeds of blessing I am sowing through your hands. Do not despise the small, for I often do great things through the smallest of deeds. Do not let the world teach you that giving is loss. In my kingdom, everything you give becomes heavenly capital. When you share, you join the current of grace, a current that never runs dry, for it springs from me. You will find that the more you give, the wider your heart becomes, and the wider it is, the more I pour in. You cannot drain the source of blessing unless you close your heart. Live as a channel between heaven and earth, between me and humanity. That channel is you. Understand that true blessing does not shine in isolation. It finds its beauty in community, where families are healed, the church is built up, the poor are lifted, and future generations are illuminated. When you live rightly, your blessing spreads. When you hide it, it withers. I did not make you a reservoir, but a river. Let yourself flow, however small you think you are, for in the flowing you bring life to parched lands. I know there will be times you grow weary. You will give without seeing results, love without being understood, serve without being remembered. But child, a river needs no audience. It only needs to know it runs true. Do not seek human record, for I have inscribed every act of love in the book of heaven. Not a single drop of compassion is wasted. As long as you keep loving, giving, and remaining faithful, the blessing is at work even when your eyes cannot see it. Know this, everything I teach from vigilance to stewardship converges toward one purpose, to make you a living witness of love. Strength is not for dominance but for shelter. Wealth is not for height but for humility. Blessing is not for pride but to make you a blessing to others. When you understand this, you will no longer fear loss, for you have found the true treasure. One moth cannot corrupt, and time cannot steal. Live as one who carries heaven's sacred legacy. Let your words convey. Grace your gaze, plant peace, your hands touch the wounds of others. As you do, you are multiplying the blessing I entrusted to you. Do not let wealth stop with you. Let it continue into the next generation, into the community, into the church, and into every soul you meet. For true blessing does not end with a period. It flows on like an unfailing river. Child, I no longer call you a little one. You have learned to trust, to wait, to keep, and now you must learn to give. I do not ask perfection, I ask faithfulness. Let your life become a testimony that there is a Father in heaven who has loved, taught, corrected, and sent you forth as an instrument of peace. Live this way, and all heaven will know that blessing is not in possessions but in a soul that loves to the end. And when you come to your final day and look back on the journey, you will see that the greatest blessing you ever received was not what I gave you, but that you were used to give to others. Then I will say to you the words every faithful child longs to hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." My child, when the final dawn of this journey breaks, you will stand still and look back to see that every tear, every collapse, every night of silent prayer, none of it was pointless. Each headwind you faced forged stronger wings, and every disappointment was a stone I set upon the path to lift your steps higher. You will be astonished to find that what seemed shattered became the foundation for what endures, and that losses you thought unbearable proved to be the fertile soil where the seed of faith burst into bloom. On that day you will understand that I never left you, never kept silent without purpose, and never allowed you to endure anything without meaning in my plan of love. Yet that day has not come. You must keep moving not by human strength but by faith. For faith is not a torch that lights the whole road, but a small flame by which you can walk through the night without fear. When you hold fast to it, though the winds of life howl and the waves surge, you will stand firm because the root you cling to is myself. Let your heart become soft ground where the seed of steadfastness can take root. You do not need to understand all that I am doing. You need only to trust that all I do is out of love for you. Do not let confusion steal the peace I have placed within you. Do not let the world's noise drown out my whisper in your spirit. Do not fear, I am here. Each morning before you rush into a new day, pause for a moment, breathe deeply, close your eyes and call my name. Every day you seek me is a day you cannot lose your way. Begin your morning not with a list of tasks, but with thanksgiving, gratitude for breath, for light, for another chance to love and to live rightly. Offer me your day like a small grain of barley, and I will multiply it into an abundant harvest. And when night falls, close the clamor with a prayer, not a plea for grand things, just a whisper, "Father, I am still here today, and I still believe." In that simple moment, your soul is refreshed, and I behold your heart shining like a candle in the dark. Learn to seek me, not only when you have need, but also in moments when you think you need nothing at all. For I do not wish to be a temporary refuge. I desire to be your dwelling place. As you do this, I will turn the ordinary minutes of your life into quiet miracles. Every breath, every smile, every word will carry the fragrance of grace. The world may see you as ordinary, but heaven beholds in you a current of living water, and that stream will never run dry as long as you keep turning toward me. Remember, the peace I give is not the world's peace. The world's peace depends on circumstances. Mine rises above them. This peace is not stolen by upheaval, nor shaken by loss, for it springs from my very presence. When you hold that peace, you will not be swept along by anxious noise, nor rattled by the world's reports, nor subdued by the enemy's words. My peace will become your shield, a wall around you in the midst of battle. Though many panic, you will stand still. Though storms rage, your heart will be calm, for you know victory belongs to me, and I am in you. Do not be afraid, my child. Your victory was ordained before your first cry. No power can erase what I have decreed. Failure is not the finish line. It is part of the preparation for your triumph. Each time you fall, I do not record the fault. I record the lesson. Each time you weep, I do not reproach you. I wipe your tears with the hand of grace. You will overcome not because you are strong, but because I never lose. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are confused, I am your path. When you are lost, I am your home. I have placed within you a vision greater than you can imagine. You see limits, but I see potential. You see obstacles, but I see a way. There are things I have not yet shown you, not because I hide them, but because you are not ready to carry them. Keep walking, and you will understand in time. My road is not straight, but it is always right. I do not promise you will avoid every storm, but I promise you will never pass through one alone. When you take my hand, seas will part, mountains will bow, and the night will not overcome the light I have set within you. I know there are days you are exhausted, and you wonder whether all this effort is worth it. You look around and see others succeeding while you still walk in shadow. But be patient, my child. Seeds do not sprout in the noise, but in the quiet of the earth. Trust that I am at work in silence, arranging all things for your good. Do not run ahead of me, and do not lag behind, simply walk with me. Even one step is enough. Each act of perseverance writes another line in the story of triumph I began in you. At times I let you lose, not to punish you, but to free you from what would harm your soul. I lead you through wilderness, not to leave you thirsty, but to teach you the worth of every drop of water. I bring you to solitude, not to make you lonely, but to help you hear my voice more clearly. And when you realize that I am your everything, nothing will frighten you anymore, for when I am the center, all else is only the border. Stand tall, my child. Do not bow to adversity. You were made not to live hunched in fear, but to walk in the splendor of truth. Each challenge you face is my forge to make you stronger. Do not pray for a flatter road. Pray for steadier feet. Do not ask the storm to cease. Ask for a steadfast heart within it. For the person of faith does not need to flee. The person of faith need only stand still and know that I am God. You will see that the day of triumph does not arrive with blaring trumpets, but in the quiet moment when you realize I have lived rightly. I will set a crown of victory upon your head, not because you never fell, but because you never gave up. Every scar will become your glory, every wound a testimony of faithfulness. And when you stand at the finish and look back on the long road, you will weep not from pain, but from gratitude. For through all that time I was there, in every step you took, in every breath you drew in, every night you thought yourself lost. I was the shade when you burned with heat, the water when you thirsted, the home when you were weary. I have never been far. You only looked the wrong way at times. And now as you look back, you will see my footprints beside yours, not merely to lead, but to accompany. Go forward, my child. Do not look back at what has passed, for wounds are only the opening chapter of healing. Look ahead where the light of hope awaits you. Every sorrow of today will become tomorrow's song of thanksgiving. I will equip you with all you need to enter the promised land, not by the sword but by kindness, not by power but by faithfulness. With every step you take, I will fortify your trust. With every word you speak, I will give it life. With every work of your hands, I will add my favor. And when you reach the end, you will know that victory lies not in where you arrived, but in how you journeyed. I did not call you to finish first. I called you to finish with me. Your glory is not in the applause, but in the deep gratitude of your soul. You will stand not in pride, but in humility, knowing that all you have today is the fruit of a love that never changed. You are destined for triumph, not defeat, born to shine, not to fade. Live your mission to the full, like a river that never ceases, like a light that does not go out, like a song that never ends. I have placed in you the strength to cross every limit, the courage to stand firm in the storm, and a heart that loves in every circumstance. Walk on, my child. For I who began a good work in you will bring it to completion on the last day. And then amid the myriad songs of heaven you will hear my voice, gentle yet steadfast. You have finished the race, kept the faith, and now the crown of glory is yours. Under the first light of new beginnings, pause and listen to the heartbeat of time, and feel that every hardship and every storm you have faced are but small steps within the grand symphony I have composed for you. Do not fear the days of mist, when it seems the light is lost behind heavy clouds, for within that darkness the seed of faith is swelling, and from the silence the call of destiny rises soft and sure. You will never be lost, for every road you travel, and every turn that seems senseless, lie upon the wondrous map I have etched upon your soul. You may think blessing has come late, that my promise is only an echo among dreams not yet formed. But beloved child, understand that every delay carries a sacred rhythm. I am never late. I arrive at the very moment you are strong enough to receive the great things you once begged for with tears. I do not withhold blessing. I am training your soul so that when it comes you can hold it in fullness, gratitude, and humility. You have asked why the loveliest dreams dissolve like morning dew. It is because I want you to learn that true beauty is not in what you obtain, but in the path you dare to walk in seeking it. When you fall, do not call it failure. This is how I teach you to stand by the strength of your own heart. When you weep, do not be ashamed. These tears wash your soul, making you clearer and more delicate, able to discern the light, even in the night. At times you think I am silent, but in that very silence, I speak to you the most. I whisper through the wind and the falling rain, through laughter and through pain. If you will listen, you will know I am still holding your hand every single moment. Do not let small disappointments choke the great faith I have sown in you. Faith is not a light that shines only when the way is clear. It is a flame that keeps burning, though the gale blows hard. Believe that even if night falls today, the dawn of tomorrow is already on its way. In my plan, no rain lasts forever and no night fails to pass. Every burden you carry has a reason. Every tear you shed I count, and not one is wasted. From those ruins you will learn the power of gratitude, the strength of hope, and the unconditional love I have always reserved for you. Sometimes you look around and feel lost in a crowded world, but remember, I will never abandon you. You are not a speck of dust adrift in a vast universe. You are a being fashioned from imperishable love, from the creative will of the Heavenly Father. Whenever you fall, I lift you up. Whenever you lose your way, I set a small torch before you. I do not promise you will never face storms, but I promise that no tempest can topple a soul tempered in my fire. My child, do not shrink from hardship and do not fear loss, for no victory worthy of its name comes without the price of trial and faith. If you ever feel insufficient, look deep within, where I have planted the seed of resilience. It is precisely in the hours when you feel spent that you will discover the boundless potential hidden inside you. Every step forward, however small, declares that you are alive and moving on. Know that glory is not a destination, but the journey in which you bravely pass through doubt, pass through yourself, and step into the light of understanding. Nothing I allow in your life is meant to punish you. It is to refine you, to make your soul shine brighter than diamond and endure more steadfastly than steel. I see every secret longing you have not dared to speak, every fear you have buried within, and I love you even when you cannot yet love yourself. I do not require perfection. I ask only for honesty about your pain, your faith, and your path. In that honesty, you will find the truest light. You may stumble and grow weary, but know this, there is no limit to my mercy. Each time you return, I welcome you with open arms. No blame, no demands, only boundless love and the joy of seeing my child find their way back to the home of faith. Life is not a race. It is a pilgrimage to recover your true self amid 1,000 upheavals. I do not need you to run faster than anyone else. I only want you to keep pace with your own soul. Let faith guide you each day, let gratitude soften every sorrow, and let love open doors you thought were closed. Do not fear those who turn away, nor the doors that shut, for when I close one path, it is because I am opening another more beautiful, broader, and worthier of your noble soul. Remember, what is yours will never be lost. Though the world may change and people may misunderstand or turn their faces, what belongs to you will return in the most wondrous of ways. Love, opportunity, blessing, everything arrives when you are ready to receive it with faith and gratitude. Stop counting what you have lost and look at what remains: your breath, the light, hope, and me. Each morning you awaken is proof that your journey continues, that the story of your life is still being written by the hand of the one whose love knows no bounds. My child, I call you by love and grace. Do not let the past imprison you, nor fear steal your future. I have woven for you a silk called hope. You need only wrap yourself in it to see that everything can change with a single, simple act of faith. Often the greatest things begin with one humble decision to believe I am at work in your life even when you cannot yet see the result. And when the hour comes, you will realize that the pains that once brought you to your knees became the foundation of a joy nothing can shake. Therefore, beloved child, do not cease to hope. Though the sky be gray and your heart be tired, lift your head and walk on. I do not promise an easy road, but I promise it is worth it. You will see that what seemed lost was only being transformed, drawing you closer to the light of purpose and love. All that I have ordained for you is complete good and full of meaning. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not doubt, for I have never departed. Live, believe, and love, and let your heart keep rhythm with grace, where every storm dissolves and only the gentle light of undying faith remains. Under the newborn dawn, while dew still clings to the leaves, I softly call your name within the vastness of life to remind you that goodness has never left you. It simply waits for the right moment to bloom in your hands. Believe that with every breath you take, my grace is still flowing. Even when you feel small and solitary in the sweeping wind, I am there, tender, yet strong, silent, yet encompassing, like the sun that never forgets to illumine distant peaks. Do not let doubt turn you into a wanderer lost in your own desert, for in that arid place, even a small seed of faith can grow into a forest of hope. You do not need to understand everything, only to take one more step, and then another, for in every step I watch, I guide, I uphold, so that even feet made raw by the road may still find their way toward the light. Child of faith, you once feared the storms, but was it not they that strengthened your roots? Was it not in the tempest that you learned to lift your gaze to the heavens and saw that I had never left you, not for a single breath? Remember, trials are not the sign of rejection, but the proof that you are being shaped for greater things. Some blessings cannot come in calm seas, for your soul shines its truest when forged in fire. I do not send suffering to punish, but to awaken. I do not take to leave you empty, but to clear a space for something greater to be sown. Each time you weep, I take note. Each time you are weary, I rest my hand upon your shoulder and whisper, "Do not fear, for I am here." And just when you think you have fallen for good, it is then that I raise you up, so you may see you have never truly been alone. What you think is lost is only hidden for a time, so that at the right moment I may return it more fully, more beautifully, beyond the small horizon of your imagining. Do not let the world's voices make you forget my gentle call. They may promise quick miracles and hollow rituals wrapped in glittering robes, but only sincere faith opens the door to true blessing. Lies that claim destiny can be bought or wealth conjured in a heartbeat are dust easily scattered, easily swept away, and quick to lead hearts astray. You were not created to chase such vanities, but to discover the pure treasure within your spirit where my strength dwells. Let faith be the lamp at your feet. Let gratitude become your heartbeat, and let each breath be a hymn to the one who breathed a soul into your frame. Today I urge you not only to open your home, but to open your heart. Let the light pour in and drive away the gloom that lingers from the days gone by. I have brushed away the dust of your wounds. I have gathered the fragments of your soul and mended them with sweet grace. Now allow yourself to live fully, to be loved, to laugh aloud, not because everything is perfect, but because even in imperfection, I am at work weaving a wondrous tapestry. You may not yet see the whole design, but every thread I am stitching has meaning, and when the day comes for you to look back, you will know that not a single strand was wasted. When you see sunlight slip through the leaves, when a soft breeze touches your cheek, when birds sing on their branches, hear in these my message to you: all things are in their proper place. I am not in haste, for I know every good thing needs time to mature. Like the seed that lies deep in the earth, enduring darkness and solitude, only to burst forth at dawn, so it is with your life. There are seasons that seem to be shadowed, yet in that very darkness your soul is being nourished, drawing an unseen strength with which to rise into the light. So welcome each season of your life with the heart of one who knows that everything has a purpose. When winter comes, do not complain, for in the cold I teach you how to keep the fire. When spring arrives, do not forget to give thanks, for it is the reward of steadfastness. When summer blazes, understand that trial is only tempering you. And when autumn falls, do not mourn the leaves, for they are the sign of maturity and the promise that a new spring will return. Every season is needed, and each is a movement in the symphony of life of which I am the conductor. My child, I do not promise you will never stumble, but I promise that each time you fall, I will be there to lift you. I do not say you will never shed tears, but I promise to turn those tears into pearls in the garden of your soul. I do not guarantee an easy road, but I assure you that on that road you will never walk alone. And whenever you feel weak, call my name, for I am the strength asleep within you, waiting to be awakened by a wholehearted prayer. Be grateful even when you see no reason to give thanks, for gratitude opens the door to wonders. When you bless the small things, the universe answers with greater ones. When you can smile in hardship, you kindle a corner of the sky, leaving darkness with nowhere to hide. Each of your smiles is a testimony that faith still lives, and when faith lives, all things are possible. A day of rejoicing lies ahead, child. A day when your heart no longer trembles with fear, but beats freely because you know you live in the loving embrace of the Creator. Then every worry, debt, and worldly chain will grow small like dew vanishing at dawn. Let me write the next chapters of your life, not only of visible wonders, but of the inner transformation. And while the world seeks gold and fame, you will find a greater treasure, peace, faith, and a soul reborn. I tell you, nothing is beyond my power. Take these words and engrave them upon your heart as a covenant. When the storm rolls in, remember that the sea is still under my command. When night covers the earth, believe that light remains in my hand. For I am not only the one who created the universe, but the one who dwells within your heart. And when you live in that love, nothing can shake you. Therefore today, do not only ask, trust. Do not only wait. Act in the certainty that I am walking with you. Whenever you open your arms to receive life, I will pour out blessing. Whenever you forgive, I will renew your heart. Whenever you love without condition, you reflect my light upon this world. Live as a living witness to my grace, and the whole world will look at you and know through you that my love is real. And at last, when you softly whisper your thanks, when your heart trembles because you realize you are still wrapped in boundless mercy, know that I too am smiling. For in that very moment, you and I are no longer two separate beings, but one joined in the sacred rhythm of life, where there is only light, peace, and everlasting joy. Open your heart and step beyond doubt, for precisely when you think every light has gone out, that is when my radiance begins to blaze from the depths of your soul. Do not fear the darkness, for it is only the backdrop against which my light shines more clearly. When you collapse, remember that my unseen hands are lifting you, gentle as dew on grass, tender as the first breath of morning touching a petal still wet. What you endure is not a sign of abandonment. It is proof that you are being refined to become more resplendent, more lucid, more steadfast in the very self I shaped for you from the dawn of creation. I know there are long nights when you quietly look up at the sky and wonder why the silence feels so thick, why your prayers seem to dissolve into nothingness. But my child, no word from a sincere heart is ever forgotten. Every tear, every sigh, every moment you try to stand firm in weariness is recorded in the palm of my hand. When you have nothing left to lean on, I am turning that very emptiness into a refuge of grace. When the world turns its back, I remain. When people forget, I still remember your name. Let the wind of the Spirit sweep through your soul and carry away the remnants of fear, of disappointment, of a fractured past. Do not cling to what has already departed. I am opening a new door before you where the light of hope awaits. You do not need to understand everything, only trust that a hand is quietly arranging all things for you, step by step, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat. The detours, the delays, the turns that seem senseless are in truth the perfect curves in the score of destiny, where every note blends into the melody of a sacred intention. I want you to know that the strength you seek does not lie out there in success or acclaim. It is within your own heart where I have planted an immortal seed of faith. Faith is not a feeling, it is a choice, the choice to trust before you see, to walk before the path is clear, to love though you have been wounded. And when you choose to rely on me, the universe bows to make a way, for such faith holds the power to change the course of your life. Do you know I have seen the wounds you hide, the words left unspoken, the pain no one else can fathom? But do not let that pain become chains. Let it become a cross through which you are joined to love. In suffering, I am honing your soul like a smith refining a blade, not to destroy you, but to make you strong enough to meet the storm. Be patient, for every drop of sweat, every fracture is proof that you are being reborn. When you think you are losing yourself, you are in truth being set free. When you learn to be still, you will hear my whisper amid 1,000 clamors. When you stop contending with circumstances, you will recognize that I am guiding the winds and waves to carry you to a haven of peace. Nothing in your life is random. Every person you meet, every trial you pass through, every tear and every smile is arranged with delicate care to complete you. I do not want you to become someone else. I want you to return to the image I have loved from the beginning, pure, strong, and full of light. There will be times when the world wearies you. People may misunderstand, dismiss, or wound you. But my child, your worth is not found in how others see you. It is found in how I behold you. To me, you are not a frail soul barely getting by. You are a warrior of light chosen to shine in the night. Stand tall, for the crown of glory awaits you at the end of the road. Do not be afraid to fall. Falling is not the end, but the beginning of rising stronger than before. When you cross the fields of loss, do not see only dry grass and barren ground. Notice the seeds of life threading their way beneath the ash. I am causing the parched places to crack, so the water of grace can seep into every hidden crevice. And one day what you thought was dead will bloom again. What you believed was gone will return in a new form, fresh, bright, and more complete than before. Therefore do not despair when you find yourself in winter, for spring never arrives where the earth has not first endured the cold. I do not promise that you will never meet the storm, but I promise to be with you in every storm. I do not remove suffering, but I turn suffering into a doorway to wisdom. I do not erase tears, but I transform them into the bright jewels of the soul. Let your faith not waver, for that faith is the lamp that leads you through the long night. Every step you take, I walk beside you. Every word you speak, I listen. Every time you stumble, I bend down to lift you tender, as a father steadying his little child learning to walk. Do not think you must be perfect to be loved by me. I have loved you, even in your flaws, in your days of confusion, in your moments of weakness and doubt. My love is not based on merit or achievement, but on your very essence, the child I fashioned with breath and light. Nothing can separate you from that love, not mistakes, not failures, not sins. Lay down the burden of guilt, for I have washed it away with the crimson stream of forgiveness. You need not flee your past. Let it stand as a witness to the grace that has transformed you. You will see that every challenge is a classroom, and every wound conceals a profound lesson. When you learn to give thanks in adversity, you will realize you have matured in spirit. True peace does not come from the absence of trouble, but from knowing that when trouble comes, I still govern all things. Let your heart become the dwelling place of that peace, so that each breath and each step is saturated with the stillness of faith. And when you stand at life's crossroads, unsure which way to turn, pause, take a deep breath, and listen. I am still there in the hush between two heartbeats in the wind, moving through the leaves in the gentle light resting on your face each morning. I have never left, and I never will. Walk in that guidance unhurried, unafraid, for every footprint you set down rests in my hand. One day when you look back, you will understand that everything that once made you weep has become the perfect pieces of a mosaic of grace. You will see that no pain was meaningless, no tear fell without being gathered into blessing. You will smile through your tears, because at last you will know I never left you alone. Live each day to the full with gratitude, for every morning you awaken is a chance to begin again in the light of grace. Do not let the noise of the world drown out the gentle calling within. Choose peace, choose love, choose forgiveness, choose faith. For when you choose these, you are choosing me. And when you choose me, you will see the heavens open, flooding you with light and clothing you in a wordless warmth. Now close your eyes and let your soul dissolve into the current of the Spirit. Let every hurt fade into the breath of peace. Let my love seep into every cell, every memory, every scar. And when you open your eyes, the world will be the same, yet your heart will be changed. For you will have seen me, felt me, and lived in that unshakable presence. From this moment live as one who is chosen, walk as one who is beloved, and say with all your heart, I trust in you. Under the gaze of the sacred presence, you are invited to step deeper into the journey of faith, where each movement is not only the body's travel, but the soul's pilgrimage back to the wellspring of peace. For within every breath of life, there is a tender call that only a quieted heart can hear my message, echoing in the innermost chambers of your heart. When you stop amid a turbulent world, remember that I am there, unfailing and near. I am the stillness within all sounds, the gentle light threading through clouds, heavy with sorrow, the consolation that does not flicker even when the world grows chaotic. And when worries, doubts, or suffering weave like an unseen net around you, let your heart open, for only when you cease to struggle can I lift you with the unseen hands of everlasting love. I do not demand your perfection, for wholeness is not never falling, but the courage to rise after every fall. In your weakest moments, you draw closest to me. Within the sigh of disappointment, I still hear your prayer. even if it is as soft as wind brushing a mountain crest. Believe that everything in your life, joy and sorrow, light and shadow, exists by my permission to train your soul in strength. As the seed must endure the darkness of the soil before lifting its face to the sun, so you must pass through long nights of trial to discover the true worth of dawn. Do not fear the dark, for the deepest place of night is where the morning is conceived. When you think you are lost, you are in truth being led to a new land, a realm of deeper knowing, where you can see my hand in the smallest details of life. Let your heart become a dwelling where I can abide, where the flame of faith never goes out though the storm may howl. I do not ask you to run swiftly, only not to stop. I do not require you to shout my name, only to remember that I am beside you like the quiet pulse you never have to strain to hear. When the world causes you to doubt yourself, look at your hands, still working, still loving, still creating. They are the sign that the flame of life within you has never gone out. Each time you open your heart to help another, each time you forgive, each time you dare to love with a mending heart, you make me manifest among humankind. Therefore, do not measure your worth by visible achievements. Look instead at how you love and how you endure, for these reflect most clearly my image in you. I do not weigh you by success or failure, but by the depth of love and the truth of faith. And if one day you feel small upon the vast ocean of life, remember that I am the boundless sea, and you are the clear drop dissolved within that being, not lost, but made complete. Do not fear solitude, for solitude is not the absence of others, but an invitation to rediscover your own presence in me. In stillness your soul will be healed. In quiet, I will teach you to hear the heartbeat of grace. Some lessons can be etched only by tears, and some graces open only when you learn to be silent before the storm. I do not promise an easy life, but I promise you will never walk alone. When you pass through night, the light within your soul will illumine the path. When you fall to your knees, my hand will reach down, not letting you sink into despair. Every trial, every turning, is a rung of the ladder lifting you closer to truth. Do not fear what you do, not yet understand, for sometimes, in that very ambiguity, the miracle is sown. Remember, faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to keep moving while fear remains. True faith is not born on sunny days. It is forged in the midnight storm. And when you are spent, when you have nothing left to offer but a broken heart, know that in that moment I will use the fragment to fashion a new vessel, purer, lovelier, reflecting my light more clearly than ever. Do not worry when tears fall. Tears are precious gems that cleanse the soul and help you see the road ahead. I will gather each drop and weave them into a crown around you, so that even if you cannot see it, heaven and earth will know you are beloved. Learn to give thanks even for what you do not yet understand, for gratitude opens doors the mind cannot. When you offer thanks in adversity, you transform sorrow into strength, failure into lesson, loss into beginning. Every word of gratitude is a note in the symphony of faith, setting all of heaven ringing. And when you love without demanding return, forgive without needing to be understood, give without fear of loss, then you are living the sacred nature I breathed into you at the dawn of your being. Never forget I chose you, not because you were strong, but because you dared to let me be strong within you. On days that seem senseless, I am still weaving meaning with invisible threads. In what appears small, I am planting the seeds of the eternal. Believe that every breath you draw is filled with the life I give, and every morning you open your eyes is proof of mercy that never runs dry. When the world forgets you, I remember. When you are wounded, I feel it. When you pray, I answer, even if in ways you have not yet recognized. Let your faith become the compass that guides you, and let love be the light that illumines every step. When you walk with courage and gratitude, nothing can make you fall. You were not born to live in fear, but to shine, to love, to carry my life into a world thirsting for hope. Wherever you are, whatever your circumstances, I call your name in the wind, in the rain, in the dawn, reminding you that you are never abandoned. Walk on, do not fear, for you are not alone. Believe though the road is long, for light still waits at the horizon. Love though you are hurt, for love is the miracle by which this world endures. And when the final day of this journey comes, when you look back, you will understand that every pain endured and every tear shed has been turned by me into blessing. You will see that I have not left you for even a heartbeat. You will smile not because your life had no storms, but because you learned to dance in the rain, knowing each drop was the kiss of grace. Live like this, my beloved, steadfast as a mountain, gentle as a stream, enduring as a flame that will not go out in the night. For in every beat of your heart I remain loving, guiding, and waiting for your return. Now close your eyes for a moment, breathe deeply, and listen to the rhythm of your own soul. For from here I will lead you farther beyond the borders of fear and doubt, to where light is no longer only seen but felt and entered into. Nothing that moves around you, the winds, the faint whispers in your mind, comes by accident. They are invitation signals from the heights calling you back to your most sacred essence. While the world races on in noise, you are called out of the crowd into the silence where only you and I remain, where faith becomes breath and love becomes the only language that can touch the infinite. You once believed that victory sprang from strength, iron will, or the achievements praised by others, but no true strength is born when you bow, when you dare to let me lead you through the dark without demanding to understand all things. In the moment, you trust without seeing, keep walking without knowing the way, and choose love over judgment. That is, when you touch the power of the Spirit, a power quiet yet unbreakable. Do not fear when the world grows strange, when old values collapse, when you no longer recognize yourself in the mirror. It is the sign that you are being reborn. As a seed must split its shell to rise, so must the old husk of the self fall away for the soul to awaken. You are being shaped by an unseen hand into the pure design I imagined from the beginning. Every trial, every loss, every person who has left none of it is punishment but purification. Learn to behold mercy even in suffering, to recognize blessing in the midst of ruin. When your heart lies shattered, do not rush to gather the fragments, for through those very cracks the light can enter. There are nights you sit alone and it seems I am silent, yet in truth I am speaking in the language of silence. I am teaching you to hear, with intuition to see, with the heart to understand by peace rather than by reason. The world will try to make you believe your worth lies in what you possess, but I tell you your true worth lies in what you give. I do not ask you to be flawless. I ask you to be honest with yourself, to dare to live true, to love true, to believe true, even if the whole world turns away. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, hope over despair, love over fear, you drive back the darkness. Remember, child, every soul is made of the same light, yet only those who dare to return to that source are truly free. Do not look for me in rigid rites or outward solemnities, for I am not confined within temple walls. I am in your breath, in the gaze of a stranger, in the tears of the suffering, and the smile of a child. When you love every living being as yourself, you are loving me in the fullest way. The world is full of allure and glittering illusions. Be watchful, for they exist only to test whether your heart will choose what is true. You will hear voices urging you to doubt, saying faith is naive and only material power can keep you safe. Do not let them pull you down. Do not let the world's energy smother the flame within. When you feel weak, remember, I am near, so near, never leaving your side. I do not promise you will avoid the storm, but I promise you will always have wings to fly through it. Each challenge you face is not a burden, but an invitation to widen your soul. At times you must walk stony paths to learn to tread more gently, meet those who wound you to learn to love without clinging. When the lesson is learned, you will see that what once made you weep has become what saved you. Do not resent the past, for it is the key that opens the present. What you thought was random has been arranged with care along the timeline of grace. You are being prepared for a calling greater than you imagine. Every delay, every door that closes, is part of a grand design guiding you to the right place, the right people, the right hour. Even now, a soul may be awakening to walk beside you, not to complete you, but to join you in completing love. Yet before that day, I desire you to learn the joy of being whole on your own, for only when you are whole can you truly love. Do not wait for someone to bring the light, be the light. Do not ask what the world can give you. Ask what you were born to give. I know there were moments you wanted to give up, to flee the very road you were on, and yet you rose again, your tears not even dry. This is what makes me proud. For courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to keep moving while fear remains. Each time you do, the sky within you opens a little wider. You grow lighter, brighter, freer. Let faith be your guide instead of calculation. Let your heart lead instead of mere reason. Let love become the torch that floods every shadow within and around you. Do not forget that all souls are bound by invisible threads. When you live in love, you help heal the world. When you forgive, you set others free, and yourself as well. When you pray, even in silence, your wave of energy moves outward, touching souls in need of lifting. You are stronger than you think, for within you is me, the inexhaustible source of life. So do not seek me far away. Find me in the simplest things, a quiet morning, a breeze that brushes your hair, a ray of sunlight piercing cloud. Find me in every kindness, every embrace, every grateful glance. I have never left you. You are the living proof of my love. Each time you lift your eyes to the sky, remember I am looking upon you too, and together we smile. The time ahead is your summons to rise, no longer hiding behind old fears. The world needs your light, the tenderness of your heart, the voice that carries truth and hope. Do not think yourself small, even a single spark can set the night ablaze. Dare to step forward, though your legs may tremble. As you walk, the earth will open a path. As you speak, your words will bear healing. As you love, that love will ripple beyond every border. And one day when you look back, you will know that no moment was meaningless. Everything had its purpose. Every bend in the road was part of the journey home. You will see I never departed. You simply had to learn to behold me with new eyes, the eyes of a soul washed by tears, bowed in gratitude, and lifted in faith. Then you will cease to ask, why did this happen? And instead whisper, thank you that it did. And I, standing in light that never fades, will open my arms as I have from the beginning. For in the end, nothing is lost. All is transformed. No one is truly alone. They have only not yet learned to perceive presence. No suffering is wasted. It has only not yet been illumined by love. You are the evidence of this. So live, as though each breath were a prayer, each deed a hymn, and each step the continuation of the light I have placed within you. Then you will not merely walk the earth, you will fly on the twin wings of faith and everlasting love, child of mine. Amid the sea of the lost, I see you, a small, steadfast flame holding its ground in the thick of night. While the world chases counterfeit lights, your heart keeps calling to me like a wanderer who still remembers the scent of home. I have seen you strive to keep yourself true amid noise through days that seemed meaningless, when faith was tested like a taut, fragile thread. And in the very moments you felt the smallest, I have been using you as a sign of hope, a witness that light still lives in the blindest dark. Many souls are adrift, searching for a quiet harbor, and through your life I will lead them home. The light in you is not your own. It is the spark I breathed into you from the first, that through you the desolate might find their bearings again. Your hidden devotion shines like a lighthouse in a restless sea. When you love in silence, when you choose to forgive rather than react, when you pray instead of complain, You kindle heaven's light in the midst of earth. Do not think your tears or the nights you kneel alone are without meaning. Every word you whisper in the stillness reaches me like a gentle hymn. I see each trembling beat of your heart, every breath heavy with the burdens of life. Not one loneliness of yours is forgotten. My grace is the unseen mantle around you, holding you when you are about to fall, lifting you when you have no strength left. When the world tells you to be strong, I invite you to rest in me. True strength does not come from straining, but from learning to let go. In my arms, you do not need to prove anything at all. Let me be the medicine for your weary heart. Let my breath soothe the places you keep hidden. Perhaps everything feels heavy. Doubt is knocking at the door of your mind. Bitterness is seeping into every corner of your heart. But remember, my light does not argue with the darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness dissolves. Allow me to shine deep within you into the places you fear to face, so that from there peace may be born again. I have watched you make it through sleepless nights, the nights you faced voices of suspicion, burdens, no one shared fears that left you silent. I see you trembling, yet choosing to stand, exhausted, yet choosing to trust. In those very moments you mirror me most. For true faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward through it. I invite you now to open your heart completely. Release every calculation, and let your heart become a holy offering, not flawless but true. Let every wound, every fracture, every unanswered question pour out like water rising upon the altar. I do not seek perfection. I seek truth within you. And when you offer your heart, I do not merely listen, I bend low. I cover you with a peace unlike anything you have ever known. A peace not born of circumstance, but of my love made present. It is like a warm blanket in a winter night, sheltering you from the chill of fear and doubt. In that light, your scars no longer ache. They become testimonies of healing. My grace is like an invisible thread that stitches the fragments of your soul, turning brokenness into beauty. You need not wear a mask with me, for I love even the parts you wish to hide. What I desire most is not to see you perfect, but to see you abundant in faith. Abundant not because you possess much, but because you know enough. Abundant not because you never face hardship, but because you will not let hardship steal your joy. I long to see in you a seasoned faith before which storms bow, a radiance of joy so bright that darkness cannot touch it. That joy does not come from what is outside, but from within, from the place where you know you are loved, chosen, and sheltered. When you live in that light, your very presence changes the air. People will sense peace when they draw near, will feel hope when they hear you speak, because within you is me, and I am the source of every good thing. Let your love become a living testimony to our covenant, a covenant unbreakable. Do not merely speak of me. Live so that others may see me through you. Each time you forgive, you speak on my behalf. Each time you choose love over resentment, you continue my story in the world. And when you fall yet dare to look up, heaven rejoices, for that is faith alive. The love you pour out today, however small, will echo back as blessing to many. You are the proof that grace is not only to be received, but to be passed on. When your spirit begins to blaze, it will not only illumine the path beneath your feet, but also lead others out of the dark. That light needs no introduction, for it is the clearest proof of transformation. Through you, many will find the peace they lost, the meaning they forgot, and the fullness they kept seeking in all the wrong places. You need not strive to become something grand. Simply let me live in you, and all will see. They will look at you and realize there is one whose love is strong enough to turn ashes into a crown, kind enough to make the weak into a bearer of blessing. Remember, every promise I have whispered into your heart is not duty but love. Each word I murmur springs from one longing, that you live whole, live true, live deep. When I speak, not a word falls to the ground. When I begin, no power can thwart me. The world may scoff, circumstances may shake, but my purpose stands. You may be pushed left and right, yet you will return to the way prepared for you, for my hand is holding you. No one can block what I intend for you except you. Therefore, the choice is yours. Will you trust me or trust your fear? Will you listen to my voice or let the world decide your worth? Will you meditate on my word until it becomes the ground of your peace, or will you let tangled lies invade your mind and wither your joy? Day by day, know this: the enemy cannot take the blessing I give, but it can tempt you to doubt it. And if you doubt, you close your own heart. Do not let the noise of the world make you forget that I am speaking to you every moment in the wind, in the light, in the silence of your heart. My child, I do not need you to be lightning brilliant and then gone. I want you to be a lamp that burns on steadfast through the long night. Believe that whenever you are weary, I am there, and whenever you trust, heaven and earth are set in motion. Though the world turns upside down, though faith is mocked, stand firm. For what I have begun in you will not be left unfinished. Let me complete it. And when everything around you trembles, close your eyes and remember, as long as you still believe, I am at work. A day will come when you look back and understand why I let you walk so many winding roads. You will see that the things which once hurt you were the very corridors that led you into freedom. You will see that your tears watered parched souls. And you will know that with every breath I have been weaving a love story between heaven and you, a story without an ending. For my love has no final chapter, only a continuing forever. Rise, my child. Keep walking though the road stretches far. For I have chosen you to be light in the darkness, a song in the silence, a stream in the dry land. And I promise no one, nothing, no power can quench the flame I have kindled in you. Keep trusting, keep loving, keep moving forward, for I am walking with you step by step, heartbeat by heartbeat, until the light within you merges with my light and the world knows you belong to heaven. Beloved child, amid the whirl of a storm-tossed life, I want you to hold fast to one truth: no darkness can conceal the light I have lit within your soul. The enemy may lurk and lay snares with honeyed words, but it can never strip away the power I have placed in you. That power is not merely for enduring, but for standing firm, blossoming and shining in trials that seem insurmountable. I did not fashion you to cower before tests, but to rise and touch the heights of the destiny I have engraved from ages past. For in every beat of your heart there is a portion of my own, unyielding, radiant, and untouchable by any force. When you recognize this, you will understand that every battle is an opportunity for that power to be revealed, for my glory to shine through you. And yet, my child, I know there will be times you hear a confusion of voices, sweet but hollow words, counsel dressed in the garb of piety, yet empty of truth. They speak in my name, but their hearts do not know me. They preach light, yet their hearts are darker than the abyss. Do not let these echoes tangle your mind. Do not let them sow doubt in the field of faith I have tended with blood, with love, and with boundless patience. Their aim is not to lead you to peace, but to make you lose your way, to leave you empty, until you forget how dearly you were chosen and loved. Separate yourself from the clamor of the world, so your soul can hear my true voice, gentle as a breath of wind, soft yet stronger than the storm. In that stillness you will know I am here, protecting you, watching each step you take. I am your refuge in the chaos, your fortress no arrow of doubt can pierce. Though the world changes and people deceive, my promise does not change. Do not let your heart be shaken by today's headlines or a slanderer's words, for your victory does not come from them. It comes from the strength within you, the strength born of placing your trust in me, in the unconditional love that brought you from darkness into light. You do not need to argue with the world to prove your worth, for your life itself, how you love, how you remain steadfast, will be the clearest evidence that I live in you. Look and see what I am doing in your life. Doors that close, seeming senseless, are closing to open a new way, a way where you will behold my glory shine. When you lose something, do not rush to think I am taking from you. Perhaps I am replacing it with what is better, what is truer to your soul. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live abundantly, to flourish in the wealth of the soul, in joy that does not fade, and in peace that cannot be stolen. I long to see you thrive not by power or possessions, but by the light that streams from within, by kindness, integrity, and deep gratitude. You were chosen not by chance, but by design. I have placed you in the right place at the right time, for there you will bloom, and through you I will unveil my wonders for the world to see. The world may publish irreverence toward my name and mock the love you place in me, but do not answer with anger. Retaliation is not the path of a bearer of light. Let your patience mirror mine. Let your gentleness be my voice amid the chaos of shouting. I do not need you to scream to defend my name. I need you to live, to love, and to forgive, that my name may be exalted through your very presence. Remember, true love is not lost in the tumult. It burns on and brighter still when the night is darkest. That is my love, and I desire it to be yours as well. I am seeking the courage sleeping within you, the flame buried beneath the ash of fear, doubt, and hurt. Will you dare to trust me when nothing goes as you wish? Will you dare to smile through days without answers? In those very moments, your true mettle is revealed. Your steadfastness, your faithfulness, these are treasures the world cannot fathom. They are worth more than pure gold, more dazzling than gemstones, forged in the fire of trial and watered by tears of trust. My child, I do not seek perfection. I seek perseverance. I do not require that you never stumble. I ask only that you always rise, and with each rising, you draw nearer to the glory I have prepared. Your family, the place you love and shelter, I hold as well in my boundless compassion. My spirit covers your home like the gentlest morning mist, bringing peace to every breath and every sleep. Nothing done in love is ever wasted. I am weaving all things together, turning even what seems ordinary into miracle, so that one day you will look back and realize every hardship that drew tears was but a stepping stone into glory. So keep moving forward, keep believing. A transformation is unfolding within you, though the naked eye cannot see it. Every cell of your soul is being renewed. Every wound is being healed by the light of grace. Let me finish the work I began. Let faith lead you through the night, for beyond it lies the radiant dawn I have prepared. And when that day arrives, you will smile through your tears, knowing that none of your suffering was in vain. It shaped you into the one I have longed for, a soul that loves, forgives, trusts, and shines in a shadowed world. Therefore do not fear, do not falter, do not doubt. You are on the right path. You are loved, chosen, blessed, and surrounded by a love that never changes. Keep your heart steadfast. Tend the flame of faith, for I, the one who called you, am faithful, and I will fulfill all that I have promised through you, in you, and for you. When I called, you did not hesitate or hide. You answered with a ready heart, a heart that knows how to listen to the summons from the deepest places where I have always waited. That moment, though it seemed no more than a passing breath, was in truth the beginning of a sacred covenant, an invisible cord that no time, no space, no power can sever. From that instant, you no longer walk the world alone. Every step, whether lost or trembling, bears the imprint of my hand quietly upholding you. I have seen you collapse, seen your feet bleed, calloused by the burdens of life, and it was I who laid a gentle hand upon your brow and whispered, "Beloved child, rest in my embrace, for every sorrow will be transfigured into light. Wounds and years, fears, and what you once named as loss, all will be washed clean in the spring of grace, like mist dissolving in a radiant dawn. The peace I give does not arise from this world, but from my very presence within you. And when you allow me to reign in your heart, Every darkness, every ghost of the past will fade, and what remains is a soul made new, a pure and holy gladness flowing like a clear stream through a valley of peace. My child, do not stoop beneath the weight of worry. Do not let fear dim the light I placed in you before the world was formed. Stand upright in the storm. Lift your head in the midnight hour, for I have chosen you to be a lamp within the city, a candle in the night, because I know you carry within you the flame of hope. You were not born to vanish into an anonymous crowd, but to rise, to lead, to shine with love and trust. Within you is the spark I breathed. No wind can quench it, no night conceal it. As you walk among the living, others will see that light and rediscover their own path. You are my answer to a world gone astray. Therefore, do not doubt your worth. Do not fear that you are lacking, for, in my eyes, you are already complete. Each step you take, however unhurried, is being inscribed in the sacred history of grace. In the new chapter I am opening for you, a splendid door stands wide, not only that you might enter, but that those you love may follow after. Blessing will not merely fall upon your head, it will overflow through you, soaking the souls whose hands you have held, whose tears you have shared, for whom you have prayed. True blessing never stops at the receiver. It spreads, multiplies, and blooms like a springtime field in flower, making heaven and earth shine. I will use you as a channel of favor, so that through you others may come to know me, the one who still loves, still forgives, still makes new every withered soul. Receive these graces with deep gratitude, and when your hands are filled to brimming, share with others, for the more you give, the more you will receive. Let go, my child. Every care you cling to, every load you try to control, place them all in my hands. Let your shoulders rest. Let your heart breathe. I do not desire you to live in fear or fixation. I desire you to live in freedom, freedom that comes only when you truly trust that I hold all things. When you release, you do not lose. When you surrender, you are not weak. This is when you are strongest, for I am fighting on your behalf. Those quiet hours between us, when the noise has stilled and only breath and listening remain, are the hours of your rebirth. In that stillness I speak not with sound, but with the touch of spirit. You will feel a deep peace, not the fragile peace of the world, but a peace like bedrock, unshaken by the storm. I know other voices thread their way into your days, enticing promises, secrets the world adorns, strange rites, powers that claim to change destiny in a heartbeat. But my child, do not be bewitched by such mirages. No ritual and no formula can replace the real power that flows from true faith. Those boastful claims are but shadows in a night fog, glittering at a glance, yet vanishing at dawn and leaving only emptiness. I do not bless through covert or mysterious ceremonies, but through a trusting heart, through the humility that listens to the call within. If there is any rite that can transform your life, it is the rite of the open heart, to dare to trust, to release, to love, and to live by my light. Do you not know all the power the world chases with its wealth I have already placed within your soul in the form of faith? You need not heed whispers from hidden corridors, nor cling to hollow promises. Only return to me, and I will show you the miracles that dwell in the ordinary. A single breath in stillness, a single sincere prayer, a single moment of trust is enough to make the universe incline toward you. That power is not outside, it courses in your very veins, for you were born in the image of the Creator. Therefore, beloved child, pause, breathe deep and feel. Everything you feared, pursued, strained to grasp, no longer necessary now. I have arranged, I have known, and I am at work. You need only believe. When you believe, every door will open. When you believe, wonders will awaken. Then peace will no longer be far off, but a living water flowing in your heart, carrying light joy and the eternity of my love. Live as one who is chosen. Walk as one wrapped in the hands of the Almighty. For I tell you truly, no force, no secret, no ritual is stronger than the faith you place in me. When you trust, I act. When you love, I am glorified. And when you surrender, I turn what seemed impossible into what is possible. From the moment you answered me, you stepped onto a path without fear, a journey where every day, rain or sun, is a blessing written by my own hand. And along that way, you will not only find me, you will find yourself again whole, radiant, and free. Thus, when you choose trust over doubt, the heavens open within your soul. Faith is not the struggle to understand everything. It is the courage to walk before the way is seen. I do not ask you to know the destination, only to hold my hand at every step. You will never fathom all my ways, for your finite mind cannot encompass the infinite wisdom of the Maker. Yet within that unknowing you will learn surrender, not a capitulation born of weakness, but the freedom discovered when control is released. Do not try to weigh holy things on earthly scales, for what is of the Spirit cannot be measured by human reason. Let your heart lead. Let faith open the road the eye cannot see. When you learn to believe without proof, your faith becomes the brightest torch in the night. There will be times when you are drawn into inward battles, where reason and faith collide like opposing rivers. Reason wants to keep you safe on the shore. Faith calls you into the deep. But, dear child, it is in the depths that you will meet me. I am not calling from the sand. I am waiting among the waves. Do not fear the fierce winds, for I am the one who stills wind and sea. When you sink amid the tempest, do not lament my silence. Know that I am teaching you to hear my voice beneath the roar. A faith untried cannot mature, and a soul untouched by night cannot understand the meaning of light. When you feel spent, and every effort seems futile, remember weariness is not defeat. It is the bell that calls you to rest in my arms. I never meant you to be a machine of perpetual strength. I formed you with feeling, with tears, with weakness, because these are what teach you to need me. Each time you yield in your frailty, I lift you with the power of love. Let me be your strength. Striving in your own power, you soon run dry. But when you let me work through you, you are renewed day by day, like a phoenix rising from ash. My child, this world is forever changing. Human worth is distorted by the noise of fame, fortune, and power. Yet in my sight, none of these define your true value. You are not a title, not an achievement, not praise or recognition. You are the child I have chosen, a soul called to bear my light into the dark. Remember, each time you live from love, choosing kindness over bitterness, forgiveness over resentment, you shine like a small torch in a heavy night. That light may be humble, but it is enough to guide other wandering hearts back to me. Do not let the world's judgments drown out the inner call. The world urges you to race to the finish, but I want you to slow and savor each moment of the journey, for in every moment I am present. I am in a child's laughter in the wind that brushes your cheek, in the beat of your heart whenever you lift a prayer. There is no place my presence does not fill, only your eyes are sometimes veiled by fear and care. Train yourself to see with the eyes of the soul, and you will behold miracles in the smallest things, a drop of dew, a flower, a smile, a glance of compassion. I am training you not to be perfect by worldly standards, but to be strong, humble, and wise by the measure of heaven. Every trial is an exercise, every failure a lesson, every hurt an invitation to love more deeply. Do not fear this refining. The fire of testing does not consume you. It melts away the dross, so the pure gold of your soul may appear. When you understand that suffering is not an enemy, but a tool of grace, complaint will cease and gratitude begin. At times I lead you along stony roads, not because I do not love you, but because I know they are the roads that bring you where you must go. A blossom cannot burst without a winter, and neither can you. Be patient in the process. Patience is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. I am never late. You are only not yet ready to receive. When the time arrives, doors will open as naturally as dawn banishes night. When you see others blessed and wonder why you still wait, remember each person travels a different path. Your seed does not flower in another's season, but when your hour comes, it will bloom beyond your hope. Do not compare, for comparison steals joy. Attend to your own way, where I am working with delicacy and depth. You do not see, but I see. You do not grasp, but I understand. You think it chance, but I know it is design. I long for you to learn the art of peace, not peace from the absence of waves, but peace in the midst of them. When you trust that all things are in my hands, you will cease resisting and begin to accept. Acceptance is not surrender to fate. It is faith that I hold a better plan than the one you imagine. When your struggling quiets, you will hear my voice more clearly than ever, and in that stillness you will find the answer to everything. Don't let the past imprison you in painful memories. The past has no power over you unless you grant it. I have wiped away every trace of guilt, washed every stain in the stream of grace. You need not go on punishing yourself, for my forgiveness has already been made complete. Lift up your head and look ahead there. I wait for you with open arms. Your future is not shaped by old mistakes, but by present love. Live as one forgiven, as one beloved, as one who knows each day is a new chance to begin again. And when you feel alone, when no one seems to understand your heart, remember that I do. I do not only listen to what you speak, I hear what you cannot put into words. I hear the quiet cry within you when night falls. I never leave, even when you no longer feel my nearness. As the sun still exists, though clouds conceal it, so my love still covers you, even when you are surrounded by night. Believe this, for faith is the lifeline that keeps your soul from drifting. My dear child, I have prepared a new chapter for you, a chapter of light, of restoration, of fullness of joy. But to enter it, you must be willing to release what is old. You cannot cling to the dark and still welcome the dawn. Let what no longer belongs to you fall like autumn leaves, so the soil of your heart is cleared, and I can plant new seeds there. Do not fear change, for I am leading you to a better place. What you lose is not punishment, it is deliverance. As you pass through the new door, keep a humble and grateful heart. Do not forget that every blessing you hold springs from grace, not from your own merit. Use what you receive to love, to serve, to share the light. The world needs souls like yours, not perfect but sincere, not proud but steadfast, not dazzling in worldly ways but radiant with sacred love. Therefore, my child, do not fear tomorrow. Tomorrow belongs to me, and I am already there waiting for you. Walk on with a heart full of trust, for though the path may wind, the destination is light. I do not promise you will not weep, but I promise every tear will be wiped away. I do not promise you will not be hurt, but I promise that from those wounds will blossom flowers of wisdom and compassion. Nothing you are living is accidental. It is the hymn of grace, a song only your soul can sing with its whole heart. Keep believing, keep loving, keep living as a chosen child. And when your strength falters, just whisper, I trust in you. Those words will be the key that opens every door, the heartbeat that syncs with the pulse of heaven. In that moment, fear will fade. You will know you belong to the light, and that light never goes out. Today, as I draw near in the stillness of dawn, it is not to judge or demand, but to hold you with an unconditional love, to dry the tears that have weighed heavy on your lashes, and to awaken within you the life I planted from the beginning. Let me soothe your fractured soul. Lay down the burdens that make your shoulders tremble, for I never come to add more weight, but to share it, to lighten every breath you take. When you feel everything is collapsing, know that I am quietly rebuilding your inner foundations, a foundation no longer set on fear, but raised on faith and love. There is no trial you face that I do not know, no tear you shed that I do not witness. Each time you fall, I am there, reaching out to lift you, not with reproach, but with eyes brimming with tenderness, like a father watching his little one learning to walk through life. Do not be afraid, for no dark road lasts forever. Even in the deepest valley of sorrow, there is a light from my hand shining through. That light is not something from outside. It is kindled within your soul, where a small yet steadfast faith still burns. When you carry a sense of helplessness, thinking yourself too weak to take another step, remember that true strength does not come from the absence of fear, but from the ability to stand firm within it. I did not create you to collapse, but to recognize the extraordinary power hidden within you. I am walking beside you still, sometimes in silence, sometimes through the people you meet, through an unexpected embrace, a word of comfort, a warm ray of sun on a rainy day. Everything you endure, disappointment, loss, loneliness, has a deeper purpose. These do not come to destroy you, but to make you stronger, steadier, and clearer of heart. Do not let the wounds of the past become chains that shackle the present. Let them become proof of your growth, fine engravings upon the soul, witness that you pass through suffering without letting it define you. I see in you not weakness, but resilience beneath the ashes. Let me breathe upon it, and the flame will rise again, lighting the road you thought was lost. At times I know the past tugs at you, faded memories that still knock on your heart's door, words left unsaid, deeds undone, people who have gone. But my child, do not let yesterday bind your tomorrow. I do not want you to live in the shadow of what has been, for every morning I give you a new beginning. The sun never rises twice for the same day, and likewise you need not live forever in old mistakes. Let the light of dawn touch you like a baptism of time, washing away sorrow and rekindling desire. Each morning, when the breeze is gentle and the light still soft, that is when I whisper to your soul, rise. Do not be afraid, for today you live again with the chance to love, to forgive, and to begin anew. You were not born to hide, but to step forward, to turn every wound into testimony of the great vitality of your soul. Do not forget that I never permit a trial to come without also giving the strength to overcome it. You may think your endurance has reached its limit, but truly within that limit, the extraordinary is born. When you believe you cannot go on, it is then that I am doing the impossible within you. Hardships are not punishments, but invitations to ascend to a higher plane of understanding, where you can see all things by the light of truth rather than the lens of fear. You will discover that everything that once caused you pain holds value, for through it you grow more compassionate, more humble, more steadfast in faith. The joy I give does not depend on circumstance. It is lit from within, like a lamp no storm can extinguish. That joy is the sign of the strength you carry, a holy light bright enough to tear the night and guide those around you who have lost their way. My beloved child, I come not only to comfort but to awaken. I want you to know that in every moment I am inviting you deeper into wisdom. Listen not only with your ears, but with your heart, for truth is not concealed in noise, but in quiet. Let your soul move in rhythm with the universe, that you may hear the voice of truth speaking softly amid the clamor. When you learn to listen, you will realize that everything around you speaks of love, the wind and the birds, the sunlight and the rain. All are my whispers reminding you that you are not alone. I am inviting you into a new life where fear no longer leads you, but where understanding and mercy show the way. Open wide your heart and receive the breath of peace I am breathing into you. Let me teach you to see the miraculous in the ordinary, to find joy in the smallest moments. When you cherish each breath, each smile, each touch of life, you will see that everything bears the imprint of love. Then the weight will lift, and you will see only opportunities to grow. Each time you forgive, you are set free. Each time you love, you are reborn. I have given you the power of choice to choose trust over doubt, love over fear, hope over despair, and when you choose the light, the darkness finds no place to dwell. Dear child, walk on with courage. Do not look back in regret, do not look around in fear, only look up and trust. I am walking with you step by step, breath by breath. Let the invitation of the morning become the song in your heart, a song of courage, of love, of awakening. For today I do not come to judge, but to renew your soul, to remind you that you are loved, chosen, and destined for the extraordinary. Let this light flood your being, and from you let it spill into the world. For through you, the world will know that I still live, still love, and still bless every soul that lifts its gaze toward the light. My beloved, when dawn's first light brushes your eyelids, do not see merely the start of another day. Recognize the sign of an entirely new chapter opening within your soul. Each beam that falls, each breath you draw, is my reminder that you are still chosen, still loved, and still being led within the wondrous design I have written for you alone. Let your mind, each thought and feeling, be cleansed by the stream of revelation. I pour out that every tired pattern, every frame that once confined you, be replaced by wisdom drawn from the well of eternal life. You do not need to understand everything. Only open your heart, and as my word soaks into every hidden place, you will sense a quiet yet fierce transformation, like an underground spring rising beneath parched earth, silent yet strong. Be wise, my child, in granting others entry to the sacred ground of your soul. Not every smile carries goodwill. Not every gentle word is born of light. Some come cloaked in care, yet breathe a cold wind like thawing ice, seeping into a tree's roots until it withers without knowing why. Some voices sound tender, yet every word they speak is like a poisoned needle, piercing the heart and clouding the spring of peace I set within you. Therefore learn to listen not only with your ears but with your discernment, for your soul knows who is light and who is shadow. When you keep your heart in stillness, you will hear the warnings of the Spirit, a gentle yet authoritative voice, showing you to whom to open and what to close against. Your peace, dear child, is a treasure beyond all riches. Guard it as one who tends a lamp through a stormy night. Let no one and nothing snuff out that flame. Your soul is a temple, my dwelling place, a sanctuary the world has no right to violate. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. If you let bitterness take root, it will spread like vines and choke the fruit of peace. If you tolerate falsehood, it will slowly distort the true image I placed in you. Do not allow the twisted words of others to define you. They see you through the lens of their wounds, but I see you through the light of everlasting love. You are a creation carved by a sacred intention, a line of poetry spoken from the rapture of love, and no one has the right to erase that beauty. The chains that once bound you, the chains of sin, of shame, of doubt, are falling away one by one. Do you hear it? The bright ringing of freedom within you. I have been unfastening every link you thought would hold forever. Despair, the specter that hovered at your bedside each night, is dissolving beneath my gaze. I come not to condemn but to set free. Nothing can stand before my light. When I enter, darkness has no refuge. You once trembled at the thought of your past, but now know this, it is over. What haunted you, what choked your voice in the long night, is now only a distant echo fading into the morning mist. Let this new dawn soak into the deepest places of your heart. When the light touches your darkest rooms, it does more than heal. It turns wounds into emblems of victory. You thought yourself broken, yet I see within that the seed of strength. You wept in utter sorrow, and I caught every tear, kept them as jewels of faith. Now I am turning them into seeds of joy. Each tear, when it falls upon the soil of grace, will sprout into a garden of promise, where every blossom bears witness that love is always stronger than pain. In that garden, you will see what once caused you pain become the very source of your healing. Where fear once dwelled, courage now rises. Where there was loss, gratitude overflows. Where there was separation, reconciliation crystallizes. You will laugh with a laughter that does not spring from fleeting joy, but from true freedom, the laughter of a soul no longer bound. I will walk with you through that garden hand in hand, so you can breathe in the fragrance of peace spreading everywhere. And when you lift your eyes to the sky, you will understand it was the darkest days that taught you to cherish today's light. You are no longer anchored to the past, no longer bent beneath the burden of old mistakes. I have made all things new within you. Like a river after the rain, your current now runs purified, limpid, and strong. You do not need to turn back to recover what is gone, because what is coming is far more radiant. I am doing something entirely new, not a patch over an old wound, but a rebirth. You are not merely healed, you are remade. I am breathing into you a new breath, a new will, and a new vision. Child, do not fear change. Do not cling to what is familiar simply because it feels safe. A tree cannot grow unless it dares to shed its old leaves. A soul cannot mature unless it dares to let go. When you allow me to lead, you will discover that every door that closes opens onto a more wondrous path. Each time you think you are losing, you are being cleared to receive more. At times I take away, not to punish, but to protect. At times I delay, not to discipline, but to perfect. You are stepping into a season of restoration, a place where the tears of the night are no more, and only the smile of morning remains. I am placing seeds of hope in your hands, and faith itself will be the rain that waters them. You will watch those tiny shoots rise into a field, teeming with life, where pain once grew. Strength will blossom. Where what was broken once lay, wholeness will stand. And with every step you take, you will know that it is my hand, gentle, yet mighty, painting a new portrait of your life. A portrait so resplendent that even the angels bow to behold it. Believe this, not a single tear falls in vain, not a single wound is meaningless, not a single weight is wasted. All is inscribed by me within a design of love. You need only keep walking, keep believing, and keep your heart open. I will take care of the rest, for I have promised, and my word never returns empty. Stand firm, my child, for the light is drawing closer than ever, not only along the horizon, but blazing to life within you. Now, my child, be still. Let your soul grow quiet like a lake before dawn, and lift to me your prayer with all your heart, with the breath of faith, with the light of a soul that longs to dwell in my love. Let every word you speak be not mere sound, but the heartbeat of gratitude and deep trust. Almighty God, you who breathed life into my soul and have not left me for even a moment today, I return to you, not to ask for more, but to learn how to rest in your will. I am weary of trying to control everything, of worrying over what lies beyond my reach. Teach me to surrender into your embrace like a child in a father's arms. Let my faith not wither into mere theory. Revive it with the fire of love and obedience. Amid a changing world, grant me peace like a small flower blooming in a storm, knowing that in every wind you are there. Good Father, you are the source of every good gift, the refuge of broken hearts. I feel my spirit worn thin by trials, yet I know you have never abandoned me. Strengthen me to stand firm. Give me eyes that look beyond what is temporary, and a heart that loves even when wounded. Teach me to believe when I cannot see, to sing in the night, and to give thanks even in suffering. I do not ask you to change my circumstances. I ask you to change my heart so it can endure, obey, and love in all things. God of grace, you know every fear I have not dared to speak, every tear I have hidden in the night. Heal the shadowed places I still keep closed, and lift from me the doubts that draw me away from you. Teach me to choose what is right when what is wrong comes easier, to choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, to choose faith instead of despair. Use my very life as a mirror of your kindness, so that whoever meets me may feel a glimmer of heaven's light. Eternal One, you know how frail I am, and that very frailty makes me need you more than ever. Help me learn to walk more slowly, so I can hear your voice more clearly, to stop speaking, so my heart can grow quiet. Teach me not to chase the world's call, but to follow the resonance of the Holy Spirit. When I want to give up, draw me back with your unchanging love. When I am afraid, remind me that you are my stronghold. Almighty God, I thank you for all you have done, both for what has made me rejoice and for what once made me weep. I know that everything has meaning within your wise design. Thank you for your patience with me and my slowness, to understand, for holding me steady when everything else collapses. Thank you that you bless me not only when I am good, but cover me with grace when I am weak. May my heart be a perpetual hymn of thanksgiving, though the road twist and the seasons change. Father, today I ask for nothing. I only want to say thank you. Thank you for never forsaking me, even when I wanted to forsake myself. Thank you for seeking me in the storm and carrying me through barren seasons. Thank you for not counting my faults, but counting every breath of hope I still keep. Thank you that every time I fall, your hand gently lifts me up. Let me never forget that your presence is the greatest blessing of my life. Lord of boundless love, I bow in gratitude for being called your child. Thank you for turning my wounds into witnesses of your mercy, for turning my silence into prayer, my failures into a road back home. I praise you that the peace I now have does not come from circumstances, but from you. May my life be a small candle burning to the very end, so the world may see your light in me. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so that together we can build a strong community of faith.